One of the big hits at our studio gardens this year was a pre-formed flower pouch where we actually purchased a little kit that had pre-cut slits in a plastic pouch where we put in some annual flowers. And we put in the annuals, put them up against the flat wall, and they've grown throughout the summer and offered a lot of nice color. And a lot of people have been commenting on them. Well, recently we received a picture of kind of a makeshift flower pouch, and I'd like to introduce to you Miss Susan Cox. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
Welcome to Oklahoma Gardening. Now let's go up here and talk about what you've done. First off, though, I understand your project's kind of a group or neighborhood project. You might tell us kind of who's involved here.
Well, a neighbor man down the street by the name of Riley Merritt had seen something like this done at his sister's house in another state, and had told the neighbor about it, and she had tried it, and we had seen it also down the street. And so when we were looking around for trees that we thought would work well, we spotted this one across the street from us, and Floyd and Vi Gudgel are good friends of ours, and we said, well, let's try this in this tree and make a real special flower showing. So that's what we did.
Well, and it's perfect, and it's very eye-appealing, and I'm sure it stops a lot of traffic. But why don't you just kind of show us real quickly, maybe lift up or point out to those what we're talking about here.
Okay. Between the plants here, you may be able to see a bag. We used burlap last year. We have used a woven kind of a polyester fleece this year that I found just in a fabric store. You can see the edge of this bag here. We have one rectangular shaped small bag here, a larger kind of a figure 8 shaped saddle bag idea here in this lower one, which holds more flowers and more soil. We were real careful when we positioned it so that it was balanced, because what we didn't want to see happen was this bag of soil get really heavy in a rain and come tumbling down, bringing all the flowers with it.
So basically you're making ahead of time, filling it with a well-drained potting soil and just strapping it basically over the crotch angles of the tree. Now, this is a silver maple tree, and that's what I was kind of excited about at first, was is it going to damage the tree? And it appears that not having any problems there, and it looks real nice. Now, Susan, let's actually show them the bag, and you have some shortcuts to show us even on how that was made.
Well, it is 2 pieces of fabric cut in this kind of a figure 8 peanut shape, right? And I made it narrower here. It's about 1 foot wide here, probably 2 feet at the end, and about 4 feet long. This just happened to fit our needs for this particular tree. We wanted it to hang down fairly far. I have shown in black here where I've stitched it, and I stitched it twice for strength, because it will be holding quite a lot of weight, I think.
Right.
And then
how did you get the soil in it then?
Well, I left one area here about 8 or 10 inches with no stitching, so that I could then turn the whole thing wrong side out, or actually it would be right side out, and then fill with a hand shovel or even a larger shovel the soil mix, which was peat moss added to potting soil.
Okay, so well-drained soil. And then when you stitched it back up, then did you go ahead and drape it over the tree and then plant in the tree?
Right, we did. I had taken a large curved craft needle to just hand stitch this closed when it was turned and filled, and then we positioned it in the tree. I might add that before I filled it with the potting soil, I just laid the fabric up in the tree to make sure that it was about the size and shape that I wanted.
And then you just cut little X's in it, kind of like we did with our other ones, and put the little transplants. And of course, your husband and helped with this very much too, but smaller transplants obviously work a little bit better. And then as the season's grown on, gosh, it's just... Now, you also told me that you've really investigated the trees with the canopy. Why did you really look that over?
Well, we thought that if the canopy were too low in the tree, the leaves would interfere with being able to see the flowers.
And actually block the view.
Right, and of course we had to have a tree that was had a fork somewhat low, so that it was reachable to us. We didn't want to be, climbing on too many ladders to get up to it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if you can use this more than one season. We were talking about that. But Susan, please thank everybody in the neighborhood, because this is a great idea, and I think all the viewers will really enjoy it.
Well, and a special thanks to Vi and Floyd Gudgel. The tree belongs to them.
And keep us posted on how it comes along for next year, too.
I'd like to.
Thanks again.